Parliament Hill, of course, here so much as a child, and in fact I remember I performed twice on Parliament Hill, once as a Highland dancer on July the 1st, dancing the Highland Fling, and then another time as a classical ballet dancer with Nesta Tumin's Ballet Imperial, probably when I was about 13 years old. We did some ballets up here on the stage. And also I used to go with my father up to the top where they have the carillon, because he knew the man who played it, and we'd go up there and watch him play, which was incredibly exciting. And of course, next to the Parliament buildings, we have the Chateau Laurier, where I gave so many recitals as a young pianist in every room there, in the ballroom, in the Adam room. I played many of the pieces I play around the world now. I played there for the first time. There were various music clubs, and of course the CBC studios used to be in the top of the Chateau Laurier, so I was always there as well. And the conference center that across the street, of course, was the old Union Station, and I used to go to Toronto for piano lessons every 2 weeks, and with my mom and brother on the train, we'd go on the weekend and always go out from Union Station, and I remember the trains coming right back in there. I went there from the time I was 5 or 6 years old, so all very old memories. My father used to take his choir into the Supreme Court because the acoustic in there was so fabulous. So he used to take them there to sing. Yeah, they've got a lot of stuff of mine in there. I give them boxes of stuff. The archives, yeah. And then the last time I gave them, they said, "Fine, no more for another 10 years." I said, "You got to be joking. What am I supposed to do with all my concert?" Yeah. Yeah, up here we have Christchurch Cathedral, where my father arrived in 1931 as a young man from England. He had had the opportunity of going either to Westminster Abbey as an assistant in London or coming to Canada and being the organist here, and he chose to come to Canada. They had described it as a cathedral on a cliff, and he had imagined Durham Cathedral, and he always said that when he saw the place on this tiny little hill, he sat down and cried. But there was no going back, and he really put the place on the map as far as music was concerned, and had so many people who passed through his choir in 50 years just said it was the greatest thing of their lives. And so, of course, I grew up here. I was here all the time. I was baptized here. I was confirmed here. I played at weddings myself, the recorder, or I even played the organ on occasion. I sang in the choir. My mother met my father here because she taught at Glee Collegiate, and she came to take organ lessons from the best organist in town. And so it has many memories. My first public performance was also here at the age of 4 in Cathedral Hall, which unfortunately they've just knocked down. But that was where I did perform in public for the first time, and there's still people alive who remember that day. I came out, and my mother had told me to bow nicely and go on the bench through the front, and I just ran out and climbed over the bench. So here we have the National Archives of Canada, where the most memorable thing was in 1986. I played on Glenn Gould's piano, and for his father, we had a concert there, and his father was there, and that was a very memorable occasion. And they have a lot of my concert programs and memorabilia now go there, and I hope for many more years to come. So this was a neighborhood in which I spent a lot of time.
Well, we're headed towards the NAC.
Okay.
Triumphs.
Yeah, the NAC, which was opened in 1969.
That's right.
And my first appearance there was as a dancer.
Really?
Again. I appeared in the ballet Maria Chapdelaine, and I think it was